This is the Always Direct podcast, and we talk with movers and shakers of this world to learn about the ups and downs they went through to get where they are now. Let's get started with the show.
My name is John Rayan. I'm the host of the Always Direct podcast. I'm here today with Josh York. He is the founder and CEO of GYMGUYZ. Man, I love GYMGUYZ. GYMGUYZ is the kind of gym where it comes to your home, so you don't have to leave your house, you don't have to leave your office. And we're going to learn all about the ins and outs of his growth. And he's also got a book called Fuel: What It Takes to Survive as an Entrepreneur. It's on Amazon now. How you doing, Josh?
John, doing fantastic. Thank you for having me on the show.
Appreciate you coming on. So what's going on these days with COVID with you guys? How are you guys? How's your business?
Couldn't be better, man. Couldn't be better. There's always dark there's always dark, and when there's dark, there's always light. You just got to search for it. I don't want to come across sounding insensitive, but at the end of the day, it's all about one thing: positivity. Look, the comeback's always stronger than a setback, and when you have the right mindset, you can overcome anything. And obviously, pain has to be involved with growth. And right now, I'm not saying what's going on isn't real, but it's testing a lot of people, and those who are mentally tough, those who have a growth mindset, those are the ones that are going to succeed.
Definitely. Absolutely. So you guys are uniquely fit to be better equipped for this type of situation than most gyms, because you're already having them work out from their facility. So now it's just adding technology to it, right? Is that so? How have you adapted? Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, our business is actually really booming right now. COVID's been very beneficial to us. And again, I'm a person that goes to the gym every day too. So I hate to see that gyms are struggling, because I don't want anyone to really have to struggle. But a lot of people are just not comfortable going to the gym anymore at the moment. Is that going to change 100%? Look, people think this pandemic's going to be here forever.
I know.
It's not. You're not wearing masks the rest of your life. Like, people just got to understand, like, this is going to pass. As I like to always say, this too shall pass, and that applies to everything. Success, that applies to failure. But we've definitely what's happened is it's allowed a lot of people to taste our service. And once you taste our service and you realize what a fantastic service it is, you just get hooked.
Yeah, I mean, you guys. It says here 635 plus cities served. That's a lot of cities. Are you? How many franchises do you guys have right now?
Yeah, we just hit 256, and we're in 31 states, and we're in 3 countries, about to enter into our next country.
Wow, that's a blessing. Thank God. That's awesome. That is awesome. So so let's talk about your journey, can we? So on this podcast, we like to talk about the journey. We talk the ups and downs and everything it took to get where you are. I mean, you guys are doing gangbusters right now. And I want to know how it started, if you don't mind. Let's talk about the early days.
Sure. I've always been into fitness, love training people. I like to always say, though, a trainer is just like a doctor, right? A doctor without patients is unemployed, and a trainer without clients is unemployed. And I used to always say to myself, how can I make money when I'm not working? But, I did what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to school, get a degree, which I have my thoughts on. And then you're supposed to go into the workforce and get a 9-to-5 job. And that's what I did. And here I am. I gave up a very successful, high-level 6-figure earnings of being a trainer to go to a marketing job making, $35,000 a year. And I was just miserable. I'm in an office with people who are just miserable and unhappy and just so much negativity. And I can't be around negativity. I just can't. I can't associate with it. I'll cut off a family member if they're negative. I just don't roll like that. And I like to always say I turn negatives into positives. But, it was great making a lot of money as a trainer. The problem is, that short term, you can't be a trainer your whole life. It's just not scalable. And I used to try to figure out, but I figure everything out always. Every no always gets me closer to a yes. And I was like, you know what? I got to leave this place and go back into fitness. That's what I love. It's my passion. And then one day, one of my clients came in late and said, Josh, I wish you can come to my house. I just don't have any equipment. And that kind of stuck with me all day. I was like, wow, it's like one of those ideas where it's like, why didn't I think of this? How great would it be if I got a van, stocked it with all the necessary equipment, enough equipment to provide you a fantastic workout 365 days a year, backed by our 3 C's, convenient, customized, and creative workouts, and service clients anywhere. Home, office, pool, park, place of worship, hospitals, senior homes, corporations, literally anywhere. We bring the workout to you. GYMGUYZ was born. GYMGUYZ is an acronym. get you motivated, goals uniquely yours, zero excuses. And today we are the largest personal training franchise brand in the world.
Wow. Is that so?
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so who is your main clientele? Is it individual people or is it corporations?
No, it's really, the majority of our clients are in home, one-on-one, but then we do work with corporations. We do work, with a lot of small businesses. We do work with places of worship, schools, and so on and so forth,
And your franchisees, these guys, the people who join your franchise, they are generally people who love physical fitness. They want to do their own thing, but they want some help getting off the ground. Is that the typical kind of franchise?
Yes and no. There's also business people that come on board, a lot more executive type people. But it's people who have a passion for health and fitness and want to change people's lives.
Yeah, it's a very rewarding business you're in.
Very, very rewarding. Yes.
Yeah, I know. It is. I've always had a infatuation with the business myself. Honestly, I've always wanted to open a boxing gym, because I used to box back in the day when I was younger and slimmer, and I love it, and I still love it. I still hit the pads once in a while, and I always said, if I was ever going to get into another business, it would probably be some kind of fitness business, just because I just feel like you could help people so much, even if the money on one location may not be amazing. I don't know if it would be or not. I don't know how much they make. But the changing of lives is worth it.
Couldn't agree with you more, my friend.
So now have you guys shifted to Zoom, or how is this working? Are you guys obviously can't go to people's houses, or can you?
Oh no, 95% of our sessions are back in the homes now. Yeah, so
they don't even mind it.
Nope.
Good.
Not at all. Zoom. Obviously, virtual is a new service we've taken on, obviously, but you're talking very minimal amount of people are using it. Pretty much everyone's back to normal. And for those who don't want us in their home, which is really not many, we just go outside.
Yeah. Sure. But you're in, if I'm not mistaken, you're in New York. How's your weather? We're in Illinois. Our weather here is beautiful. It's been 60s every day.
Yeah, same here. Beautiful.
Oh, wow. All right. So okay. So how do you advertise to get clients? I mean, are you guys using Google Ads? Are you using Facebook? Are you using direct mail? How do your franchisees find, because you have a 10,000 household area that you give to your franchisees. How do they get the customers besides networking?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different strategies: digital strategy, awareness strategy, owning the market strategy. So there's many different strategies, but the key to building any business is building relationships, getting out there, building relationships. Relationships are everything. And that's the number one thing to focus on when you want to really drive anything to a level of success.
A lot of our clients here who deal with us, we deal with a lot of gyms, we deal with a lot of restaurants. Always Direct Mail is the company that we do a lot of direct mail. We do some digital as well. And we tell all of our clients that, number one thing, join the Chamber of Commerce, go to all the meetings you can, go to every event possible. Is that the number one source for you as well?
Not the number one source, but a very big source. Yes.
Well, what would be your recommendation for small businesses that would want to grow their network?
Be relentless and do whatever you have to do and get out there in front of people and just, look, I work 100 hours a week, if that, sometimes probably more. Okay. I'm always grinding. I'm always on. And I like to look at things like, a normal person works a 40-hour work week. What they complete in a year, I do in 3.5, 4 months. That's just how I roll. I get up every day at 3:44 in the morning when everyone else wakes up around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, I've already done a lot more than you have accomplished. Look, you want to be successful, you got to be willing to do things that other people won't do so you can have things other people won't have. It's very simple. But the problem is a lot of people like to complain and make excuses and cry and fold up like a cheap chair. See, I don't roll like that. Some people don't like the way I come across, and that's okay too. That's fine. You don't have to be into me or follow me, but I like to just give it real. And if you want to be successful, here's the formula. The problem is what I'm saying right now, people will listen, but people won't actually do anything about it because they just don't know how to take action.
It's a lot easier to say than do. I mean, we can't. By the way, I just want to go back. You said you wake up at 3:44. What's the reason for the 3:44? The odd number.
Because a normal person would wake up at 3:45 or like 4 o'clock or 4:05. So I don't like to do anything that's normal. I don't do anything that's normal. Everything I do is totally off the charts. From my 29-degree ice baths every single day, even in dead winter, to my 195-degree saunas, to duct taping my mouth when I do my sprints. I do a lot. I put myself I put myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations. I like to seek discomfort.
That's number one. That's the number one rule to success. Apparently, that's what I've heard.
It's the number one rule, man. Let me tell you something.
Wow.
If people looked at the virus as a positive, because it really is. Because let me tell you something. What a lot of people have been through with this has been very, 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 very damaging and stressful.
Yeah.
Do you really think the next time someone walks in your office on a Monday morning and doesn't give you 2 weeks notice and quits, you think it's really going to put a dent in you? If you're able to mentally handle what's going on right now and make it through it strong in a strong manner, that's not going to be anything. You have to seek discomfort. It's very important. Very important.
So Josh, let's drive into that. Let's drive into that a little more. Let's talk about you. Were you always like this kind of crazy mindset, go get it, hustler mentality, or did you just one day wake up and did something happen to you that would trigger this? Tell me about it.
Nah, I was always just different. Always like, see, I look at losing as a very important thing. And I like to lose because that's how you learn. I look at losses as victories, but I like to win. I like to win, and if that means being first online, if that means being the first person to get somewhere, if that means being the first person to get up before anyone else, if that, like when I drive in the morning, I do this little wake up call on Instagram, which I started like a year ago that people just love, and I just I got a different jam that's playing each day, and I just say it's a wake up call. And some of the messages I've gotten over the years are like, some of them can get you emotional. Like the amount of people I've motivated and inspired and changed their life is really means a lot to me, because when I was doing this, no one helped me. No one paid attention to me. There was nothing to turn to for inspiration. And, look, I just always been different, man. Like I've always liked to play like psychological games in my head. I used to go to the gym when I was 16 years old at 4 a.m. and I had nothing to do all day. And I used to bike there. And I still don't understand why the hell I did that. I just always just very driven. And when I put something in my mind that I want to do it, I do it and I get it done.
How old are you?
I am 37.
And so tell me about your daily routine, Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday. You wake up in the morning, 3:44. At that point, you do what?
3:44. I get up, I hop in, take a quick shower, have a small little breakfast, and I head right to my workout. Get to my workout, get to the gym, work out. Depending on the day, it's either weights, intense cardio, sauna, weights, intense cardio, ice bath every day. That doesn't change. That's 7 days a week, every single day.
At the gym?
No, it's at my home. It's anywhere from 28 to 31 degrees, and that's every day, no matter what.
And that's simply that's just to screw with your mind mentally, just to say, hey, I don't want to do it. I got to jump in there.
No, there's a lot of benefits to it. A lot of benefits.
To help you heal?
It's good for inflammation. It's good for, increasing blood circulation. It's good to speed up your metabolism. It's very good. Obviously, there has been a lot of studies that, it actually cures dementia, helps with your mindset, and obviously as a very big one, memory, increased antibodies, white blood cells. It's very, very, very effective.
Wow. Okay, I'll look at it. How about cryotherapy? Would you recommend that?
Cryotherapy can't touch an ice bath. I went in a cryotherapy machine once, and I was like, all right, can you turn it up, make it colder? It was as cold as it went, and it didn't do a damn thing to me. When you sit in just cold water,
yeah,
even if you sit in cold water at 45 degrees, 48 degrees, it's cold, man. You go down into the 20s, you have no idea what cold is when you sit in freaking the 28-degree ice bath, man. It is cold, and I do it for 3 minutes every day. Then I wait till my body naturally warms up. Then I jump in a hot shower, and then I finish off for another 3 minutes with a cold shower. I've been doing that since I'm 19 years old.
Yeah. Josh, I consider myself a pretty ambitious, hungry guy myself. Most people think I'm pretty crazy too with a lot of stuff I've done. Nothing compares to what you've done. All right. Nothing. I'm not saying anything, but definitely have gotten comfortable in my mid 30s. I've gotten comfortable. I've become a little sissified, a little too comfortable. Money's been coming in. Life is okay. Family's good. Kids are healthy. And suddenly I'm just finding myself getting a little fat, a little lazy. And sometimes, you're like, man, this got to stop. I got to do something to retrain the brain, go back into the hell. You need to experience uncomfortable situations daily. And this is a great conversation because you do it consciously daily and you won't let it go every day.
Every day. Do you know something that's really true, that I actually get scared when I drive to go work out?
Why?
Because I push myself so hard. Some of the workouts that I do, you would end up in a hospital. You would have to have a defibrillator like next to you. Like, some of the things I do is so intense that most normal people would not be able to do it, because I've trained myself over the years to do it. Like my sprints, you wouldn't even be able to complete probably 3 rounds of it. You'd be dying. You'd be absolutely dying. I just put myself in very uncomfortable situations, and I do a lot of uncomfortable things, but I didn't want to do it this morning. I'll tell you, I was very tired this morning. I did not want to do it. My oldest got up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and would not go back to bed. And he's running around the house. And, when you have kids, obviously, and I don't really share too much about my family out there, but when you have kids, obviously that changes everything, but still got to make it happen, and I figured out a way to make it happen. I still made it happen. And, I was tired. I didn't want to go, but, I never let that little voice in my head ever tell me, no. I never let it happen, ever. And that's what separates winners from losers, is winners do it when they don't even want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. So you get up, you go to the gym, you do your ice bath, you do your sauna, you come home. And so what's your work schedule like? How often do you go to the office? Do you work from an office? Do you work from your house? What are you making phone calls? Are you doing sales? Are you doing, what's your daily routine that gets you from all the way to the end of the day?
It's different. It's different every day. I'm in my office every day. I get here around 7:15. And I'm here anywhere till sometimes 10 o'clock at night, 9:30. It depends, but it doesn't stop, because I'm still at it, right? I'm still going, nonstop, even during the late hours, because we're internationally as well. So, it usually around 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock, we're live in the United Kingdom. So, I have sometimes I have business I have to handle there and get up on phone calls to deal with that too. So we're constantly around the clock, but my days are different. I could be focusing on sales development. I could be focusing on operations. I'm getting 500-600 emails a day as well. So managing that, some of that gets funneled through my assistant, but, just constantly at it all day long. And I have obviously tasks and certain things that have to be completed on a daily basis that, I just chip away at to keep obviously scaling and growing. But it's different every day, really different every day.
You take naps?
I do every day. I try to take an 18-minute nap every day.
18 minutes. You set that timer on?
18 minutes. It's the most beneficial thing for me. Yep.
Yeah. Anything more, you start to get groggy.
Yeah, sometimes, but 18 minutes is what I need, and I'm ready to go another 20 hours.
So what do you eat all day? That's the number. That's a big part of energy. So tell me about what you put in your body.
I eat very healthy, a lot of, proteins, the right carbohydrates, the right vegetables. And then I like to go crazy, and when I go crazy, Let me tell you. Whew. And, I like to enjoy my sweets too, because I'm a big person on the sweet side.
Yeah. What about alcohol? You drink alcohol?
No, I've never been drunk or high in my life ever.
Okay, good. And what about vacations? You take vacations every year with the family?
I do, yes.
Good. All right. So now what's the plan with GYMGUYZ? Are you going to keep growing it and sell it? Are you going to keep it? Actually, you know what? I know that answer. I saw you on Gary V, by the way. You were awesome on Gary V.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You were awesome on Gary V. And I'll tell you why, what I got out of it. And I'm sure anybody who watches that interview is going to get something out of it. He was so impressed with your bulldog attitude of getting him, but you drove that line between being weird and being ambitious and aggressively going towards something. You know what I'm saying? So like, yep. you weren't like stalkish, like he kept saying, but you didn't stop, and it was consistent, and he appreciated it. He did something right, obviously, because you got on the show. So I don't know what that did for you, but that was a great interview. I don't know how long ago was that?
That was I don't know, 6-7 months ago.
Oh yeah, not too far back. And so have you kept in touch with him at all since then?
Yeah, we've actually become pretty good friends. Yeah, we have something we're working on right now that's a little on a DL I can't talk about, but yeah, Gary's a great guy. He's a great guy. Yeah. You seems like you got the same kind of energy he does. I mean, he's that 20-hour day kind of guy, nonstop. He is. He definitely is. But I got a couple notches on him, to be honest with you.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. So do you do, so are you big on social? Do you do it yourself if you do?
No, my team, I have a team that does it, not a team like Gary, but, I have a team that handles my social media. But yeah, I'm pretty, pretty big on it. I'm active on it every day.
I mean, for the business, you post videos daily, or do you just kind of?
Oh, we do. Yeah. From the business standpoint, yes, always. Yep.
Always. Okay. And do you feel, so when you want to sell franchises in the beginning, before you were really well known, how was your approach to sell franchises? How did you do it? Did you go to trade shows? Did you advertise on the websites? How was your approach?
I did, and nothing ever worked. The approach that worked is being a doctor and prescribing and having confidence and believing in what you're selling. I sold my first franchise on a vacation in Cabo. It was the first vacation I took in 7.5 years. It was right before my wife and I had our first child, and I was nervous to go away. And we literally just got approved for franchising the last week in December of 2013. Now I'm ready to go on this trip. First time leaving the business, literally almost 8 years. Like, that was the first trip I've taken. And I love brownies, and I'm on a buffet line one night, and I have about maybe 25, 30 brownies in the plate, and literally I ate them all. And this guy comes up to me, and he's like, you look like that, and you're eating that? And I was like, hey, I'm on vacation. We started talking. Next thing you know, what do you do for a living? I start telling him what I'm doing, and he's like, wow, I love this. Really, really smart idea. My son would absolutely love this. So next thing you know, I'm FaceTiming his son.
On vacation.
2 weeks later, closed my first franchise deal. And then it took off like just crazy. Then I'm very good at PR. Then I started getting myself into magazines and articles, and, just that relentless attitude, just like the same way I got with Gary. And I got other big podcasts I'm about to be appearing on, some very, very big ones. And it's the same type of thing. I just will never stop. And it's funny, visualization is a very important component to success.
Yeah. The
problem is people will visualize and dream, but they actually don't follow through and execute on it. And they're too busy looking at everybody else. And, especially all this nonsense on social media, when half these people just, put out, actually not half, probably 99% of people put out fake stuff. And they make it look like they're living the life, and they're going home to a 1-bedroom apartment. You got to focus on yourself. Everyone's journey is different. Okay. But I'll tell you right now, you better be busting your ass for at least a decade. And if you think you're going to get something quicker, it's not going to happen. Unless you're really, really lucky, it's not going to happen. You have to put the work in. It takes time. And if someone could do it quicker, great, good for them. Stop paying attention to them and focus on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Words of wisdom right there. There's no doubt about it. 10 years is the minimum from what I understand. That's what I hear. That's what I've seen. So when you say you're really good with PR, now, how did that come? I mean, obviously PR is a big part of all kinds of business. I don't care if you're running a grooming shop or pizzeria, a gym. PR, getting into the papers, getting into magazines, getting known by the people through word of mouth is ideal, right? You're not paid. So how did you start to do that? Did you start setting up press releases? Did you start doing gimmicky things like, trying to break world records? What was your approach?
You have to be a very good storyteller. And when you're a very good storyteller, you can make things happen. But it's not easy to do. And you have to know how to open up doors. And I'm the king at opening up doors. That's what I do. And that's what I'm very, very good at.
Can you give me another story besides the Gary Vaynerchuk, which I already know about? Can you give me another story of how you got into got to meet somebody or did something where it took relentlessness? Okay,
so I'm gonna since you're wearing on your head, you see that right there?
Yeah, that's is that the Nike CEO?
That's Phil Knight.
Phil Knight. Oh yeah.
So Phil Knight and I are having dinner. I'm having dinner with Phil Knight. I'm supposed to have dinner with him in April. But I'm going to be having dinner with him hopefully in March or April of this coming year, 2021. And I sent Phil a package that he's never received in his life before. And, Nike stated if you were lucky, you would get it back within 6 months to a year. But due to the amount of packages Mr. Knight gets, you're not going to be getting anything back. 7 days later, my door busts open and there's that package from Mr. Knight. I have that canvas signed, that book signed, Just Do It. And right now, if you have not read the book Shoe Dog, I highly implore you to read the book Shoe Dog. It's the greatest business book you'll ever read. And I'm sitting in my office one day and I said, man, how great would it be to meet Phil Knight? Seems almost like an impossibility, right? But see, I make the impossible possible. And I connected with Phil Knight, connected with his secretary, and I'm going to be making that happen with Phil Knight. So I don't care what anyone's got to say. Everyone's got excuses. I don't care who you are, where you come from, your background. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what color you are, purple, yellow, black, white. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. What matters is what you believe. And whatever you believe, you can achieve. But the problem is most people are just very weak. Okay. Most people, like I said, fold like cheap chairs and they don't stick with it. Okay. When I told someone I was going to make that happen, they laughed in my face. And you know what that did? That just fired me to hell up.
It fuels you up. Mm-hmm.
That's it. And that's where I came up with that whole concept of fueling your drive and fuel, because every single person that's laughed in my face, just like this old marketing person I used to have, when I told him I was going to go on Gary Vee, this is like years prior, he laughed in my face and said, come on, Gary Vee, like, you're not going on Gary Vee. I was like, no, I'm going to go on Gary Vee. And actually him and I are going to be very good friends. And he like looked at me like I was crazy. And this was in the interview when I was bringing him on board. And, you know, I just knew in the back of my mind it was going to happen. And there it is. It happened. And he saw it. He saw it and didn't comment, but he saw it. You know, you never, ever bet against me. And I say that not in a cocky way, because everyone should think the same way. I believe I'm the greatest in the world, and everyone else should believe the same thing. I believe I'm the baddest person on this planet. I believe that my mindset cannot be touched. And when you believe that, and when you have those type of feelings and thoughts, and you actually let them really kind of just soak and saturate in your mind, and you visualize these things and you bring them to life, that's how you make it happen. And I have tons of other crazy stories of things I've done, but you know, that's a pretty crazy one. That one, the Phil Knight one.
That's huge, and it's happening right now, so it's even cooler. So I kind of want to ask. You don't have to answer if you don't. What did you send him? You can't say that.
Can't share that.
Hey, in your book, The Fuel, What It Takes to Survive as an Entrepreneur, do you talk about what some crazy tactics that you've done to
yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, then there you go. That's good enough reason for me to read it for sure. I mean, I'm going to download it on Audible.
Yeah,
it's a great. I mean, listen, you're obviously getting the results. It's working, and I'm a little ashamed to say, but I've had ideas on how to get in touch with people that have been fun. You know, like sending one shoe in a box. Say, hey, I'd like nice to get one foot in the door. Stuff like that. You know, things where it'll get their attention, where you stand out.
But people have done stuff like that. You got to think like not outside the box. You got to think like there's no box. Yeah. And I like you. You're a nice guy. I like your energy. I get good vibes from you. But let me tell you something. The difference is you can't think about doing them. You have to do them.
Yeah.
Or you got to get rid of that hat on your head, because what does that say, right? Just do it.
Do it.
And if you just don't do it, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. That's it. You don't question it. Because someone like me is going to come in and eat you. I'm going to eat you, and you don't want me eating you, but I'm going to eat you. I will literally eat you. And I'm not just saying you in particular. I'm just saying someone else. I know. Because people just don't take action. You know, do you know, like I've shipped a lot of people tires. I love shipping tires to people. And
that's how you got Gary, right?
That's how I got Gary. And Gary told, Tyler to throw the fucking tire out. But you got to understand, the tire was a very important part of the story. But I waited in that store for 8.5 hours. I waited in the store for 8.5 hours. The woman hated me. And she's like, all right, you can go now, sir. I was like, no, I can't go. I got to wait till the box packed, because I need it packed a certain way, because I'm crazy. But you got to be crazy. And I would not leave until the box was packed in a certain way. And then I didn't even trust the woman. So I actually stayed in the store, waited for the truck to come to pick it up. That's how crazy I am. It also costs about, $575, but it was well worth the investment. But those are things that you have to do if you want to get to the next level.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
And how many things did you send him before that? You don't have to tell me what it was.
That was it. That was it.
Okay. But you met him before that, or you met him after that?
No, I met him after that.
You met him after that. All right. Yeah. You know what? I You got my hair jumping up. I want to get up and start working out right now, getting prepared, knock out all the things that I've been procrastinating on. Actually, I'm actually not a procrastinator. I'm actually not personally, but you know what? I think sometimes I feel like the dreams that I have are bigger than my abilities or my energy level or the amount of things I can handle. Sometimes you have to like narrow down. You have to shave off all the ideas and kind of like keep it down to the core of, because I'm sure you have a million ideas a day. Because your brain's constantly.
But you got to focus, man. You can't. People jump around too much like grasshoppers. You got to focus.
Right.
People like to say, "Oh, I'm going to start this business. I'm going to start this." They do 100. You got to focus on one, and that's it. And you got to believe in it enough and know what you're doing, and when you could execute it flawlessly, and when it's set up to be scalable and run without you having to work in the business, and you could actually focus on working on it. That's when you can start thinking about adding more things to the table. But it takes time, And honestly, look, my advice to you. You want to be better, you have to work out, because it doesn't matter how smart you are, doesn't matter how successful you are. I will tell you right now, the way I look at a fit entrepreneur, okay, compared to someone who's not fit is very different, because I know what it takes to build a bicep, and that's very painful. And I know what it takes to be fat and out of shape, and that's not very painful. So the one who's in shape, the person, if you ever looked at jacked entrepreneurs, like my good friend, like my friend Ed Milet, I don't know if you know Ed, but Ed's a big time entrepreneur.
I watch him all the time.
Okay, so I had Ed on my podcast. He was on my podcast, and the guy's jacked. He's in great shape.
Oh yeah.
His mindset's there. You put him up against someone who's successful and doesn't have the right mindset, Ed's going to overpower him. Josh York's going to overpower him. It's just very simple, and fitness is very important, and it just increase your game overall in general, because you're just going to be stronger and tougher. And when you push through those hard workouts where you feel like you want to die, but you do it, you're going to feel so good about yourself, and you're going to get after your day and just crush it. That's what's important.
100%. So well, on that, I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just end it on this note. That from what I can get from you, Josh, I mean, you've been a great inspiration, and anybody who listens to this podcast, I guarantee that they're gonna learn a lot, especially a lot of the restaurateurs that watch us, because all restaurateurs seem to be struggling right now. And if anybody can get you motivated, this man right here, you've been nothing but motivation. And you know what? You're not a motivation. You're just no bullshit. Like, hey, if you're going to complain, you're already losing. You're already lost. So I love your attitude. I love talking to you about it. I'm going to download your book. I'm going to read it. I'm going to get in contact with you, tell you about it. And maybe we could talk again. If you be my guest again, I would really appreciate it.
It'd be my pleasure, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much, Josh.
John, thank you very much, bud.
Thanks for listening to the Always Direct podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.